Alright guys, today we're going to be switching out this factory grill for this aftermarket Raptor style, more aggressive looking grill. I think it will go really nice. I've been working on a chrome delete, now with the all blacked out rims and wheels, blacked out tinted windows, and then moving to this blacked out grill. It's just one step closer. First thing you need to do is take off this piece between the bumper and the grill, this front piece here. So there's two screws, one on this side, two there, and then the same thing on the other side. There's two there, so I'm going to start by those. Alright, these two bolts are 7mm. So once you have those screws out, then this piece gets pulled from the outside. You pull it away, and you do that on both sides. You pull it away, and once you get these two, you got to give a little bit of force. Be careful not to break anything, but it takes a little bit to budget free. Once you pull this side away from the side of the truck and that side away from the side of the truck, then you just start working your way, pulling this edge out, pulling that edge out, and then the front part comes out, and just carefully pull it and remove it. Once you do that, the next step, your truck will look like this, where you just got that little trim which is removed off from right there, and you just peel it all the way off, and then we go on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is come to the top here and remove all the quick connects. Those are these guys right here that hold it in place. Just go through and remove all of those so you can remove this top assembly piece that's in. Alright, so the easiest way to remove these quick connects so you can do it without damaging them is to first get underneath the top cap piece like that. I'm doing this one-handed, and then prop this up, and then once that is up, go underneath the whole thing like that, and then lift this up like so, and that way you get it off, no damage, reusable again. You don't want to break these, because you break these you have to get replacements. It's a pain, so just take your time, get them off nice and easy, you're good to go. Alright, once the disconnects are taken off, then this piece will just slide out, so you can just grab it, slide it from up under here, like so, and this whole piece comes off. Alright, so next step is we remove these 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top with the, I think these are 10mm, let's see, yeah, with 10mm socket. Okay, so next we unplug this harness here, I've already loosened it, and pry this wire harness holder off so it frees this from being okay. Next we remove these connecting bolts right here. What we want is that one, which connects, as you see, to this assembly. So we just need the one, which is right there, the inside right, and then same thing over here, we just need that one on the inside left, which connects this assembly. It's an 8mm bolt. Alright guys, after that you just simply pull this out. So you see these pieces are all tucked in there, right? So and then there's rubber boots or holders that are down at the bottom as well. And so you got to wiggle it and give it a little bit of firmness as you pull. Wiggle it and just gently remove this piece and the whole assembly comes out like that. Alright guys, next from the back we got to remove that bolt there and that one there, and same on the other side, that one there and that one there, and that's so we can separate this factory grill from this factory shutter system that they have to control airflow. Right, we need to remove these quick connects at the bottom now that we remove those connecting nuts and bolts. That way we can separate these two pieces. Alright, now that that piece is off, now we just need to press in these metal clips and pull this piece away from this piece, separating the two. Alright guys, one more step to separating this is underneath on the other side. You see these, there's 4 of these. I took off the other 2 already. And they're pretty easy to get off once you figure out what they are. So they're just a little grommet that pops in there and holds it in place. The way I'm getting them off is just using one of these, hooking it right there, and then wedging it off. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I'm going to use 2. Alright, there's one last little guy hiding in there that has to be loosened up. It kind of connects to the front emblem to this back air control assembly. Alright, that last little guy was it. We now have separation, and here's the old factory grill that can be set aside, and we put the other one back on. Alright guys, time to start putting it together now. So here's the grill. You've got your 3 connections here that we're going to take and put to the harness that comes included. So first clip those on, and then we go to the next. Okay, so next we'll take the factory air shutter, set it on top, and then you're going to want to run the wires through here before you clip it together. So I'm going to need 2 hands for that, but that's what we need to do next. Right, so here's an example. I ran the wires right through there, and then obviously those are all in and lined up, so now I need to pop the rest of it in. Okay, so next, those same pieces that we used to separate, we're going to push this in and clip all these in. Alright guys, so now that we've got the clips on all across the back there, and we're ready to get all this lined up, the next step is, with the included hardware that I received, we gotta go in right there, and then the same thing on this side. You've got one right there and one right there. Now the thing is the washers they provide will work just fine up here, but here, this washer, it looks like when it tightens it may fit. If it does, great. If not, then I may need to just use a slightly smaller washer. So depending on when I'm tightening this, if it seems like it wants to go down, it seems like it might be a little bit too big, so I might go one size down. But anyways, I'm going to tighten these up and then we'll move on to... Alright guys, so I did have some spare washers laying around, and that makes all the difference, because just that little bit of a change, you can see there, allows it to drop in without having to have it worry about not fitting in the plastic just right. So finish tightening these all up. Alright, so all 4 are in. See, the next size down on those washers was a perfect fit. Those are the bigger ones because they don't have a problem there. There, I just used the next size smaller washer that I had. Fits in just perfect. And then there's the original bigger washer on that one. Snug them down snug, but not too tight, because you don't want to strip anything out. So, and then here's what it looks like now that that part's all done. There we go, one step closer. So next, on the bottom here, I'll need to put back on this water seal at the bottom. I'll pop that on next, and then so putting everything back on the same way we took it off. I will line these up, pop these little clips back in, like so, and just do that for all of them. should be quick and easy on this part. You get the idea. Next, it's time to grab this assembly and put it back into the truck. Alright, so I got it set up here, and now I'll need 2 hands, but all I'll do is just line it up like so, and then just push it in, snap it in. Alright, next we will be putting these screws back in that were on the top here. And tightening them down, and go on to the next set. Those screws ready to be tightened. And then remember, we also have these down here that I'm going to preset as well, and then I'm going to snug them all down at the same time. Also remember, put these pieces back in. I could have done that before, but I just wanted to get the grill on, make sure we have good alignment. So those are ready to be popped on as well. So now I'm going to snug all that down, these, and the screw that goes in there. And then I ran the wires, organized it right there with the zip tie where it fits underneath the cover. I ran the wire down around through there underneath and brought it up here, used a little zip tie just to snug it up so that it sticks out right over here, out of the way of the covers. Alright guys, now for the wiring. So down under there, you can see the clip right there? That's where you unhook parking. It goes back in there, right about there. Oh, it's difficult to get in here and show you. Let's see if I can get in this way. Let's see. There it goes. Okay, so alright, so see, right under there, that's where you pull this out of there, and that's your parking light connection. Okay, so that's on the left front side. Try to give you something to reference, so when you're doing this, pull it out. See, we're looking at the front of the truck on the driver's side, and there's the clip right there, and this is what it looks like when you pull it out. Alright, and we're going to splice into these wires, so when that parking light's on, because that's the parking light clip here, when the parking light's on, so are the LEDs that are in the new grill. So we're splicing the wires together now. The black, which is your negative from the Raptor harness, goes to the black and green wire, and then the red wire, which is your positive, goes to the green and orange wire. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to splice those together. I'm going to use, there's different ways you can do this. If I had some quick clips I would do that, but and then put this through the wire, crimp it down, and once it's been crimped really well, then I'm going to use some heat shrink, which would be over the top of it, and just seal it down, make it a really good connection. Alright guys, the connection's done. I crimped it, and then I put some heat shrink around it to give it a nice good connection, just so it's something I don't have to worry about anymore. No, here comes the hookup and the test. Hopefully everything works. And there we go. Perfect. Alright, we're all on. Looks good. Alright, so for organization cleanup, I put one zip tie right there just to kind of hold those wires kind of snug. I cut off some, but I left a little excess because I wanted to be able to pull that out and get around if I ever need to do something with it again. And that's it. And then I don't know if I mentioned, but there's one bolt here that connects the air box along with the hose clamp there. I took that off to make it easier to access. I forgot to record that as I did it, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You just take off the one bolt here, unclamp it here, and you just remove the whole assembly. I'll show you as we pop it back in here. Basically, as you can see, there's a bolt there, and then the shroud goes there. That has a spot that it clips right in underneath right there. You push that down, and then here's the top, which will hook back on and hook everything up. Alright, so the last thing to do is put all these quick connect clips back on. And once we do that, it'll be wrapped up. Lastly, I didn't mention, I put this piece back on, which was pretty straightforward. Just start on one side, start snapping it in, and then just carefully bring it around, snapping on the other side, and then add your screws. There's the finished product, guys. Came out good. I like it.